A report comes out today that, yeah, the Flyers are still more likely than not going to trade Sean Walker. Tons of scouts in the building tonight. Sean Walker scores a goal. That seems good. But there was a report a couple weeks ago, the Flyers pretty interested in bringing back Nick Seeler. The discussions are ongoing, but the initial contact might not have gone as well as everyone was hoping. The Flyers want Seeler in the $2.5 to $3 million range. And according to, I have it at the fourth period, Seeler is looking for, quote, looking for a fair bit more over multiple years. Sounds like he wants 4 or 5 years, maybe $4+ million. That's kind of what I thought Sean Walker was going to be looking for. I like Nick Seeler a whole lot. And like he blocked some shots tonight. I think he had 4 shots on goal. I have really come to appreciate Nick Seeler. Mm-hmm. At $3 million, I no longer appreciate Nick Seeler. Like, no, I hope some team gives him 5. I hope that team is not the Flyers. There are 31 other teams in the league that can give him $4 or $5 million. I do not need the Flyers to be that team. This seems like a ridiculous ask. Now, obviously, this is a negotiation. Start high, ask for the stars. But like, man, if the Flyers end up giving him like 4 or 5 years and more than $3 million, that is one of the first red flags of the Danny Briere era.
Did Nick Seeler walk into negotiations, throw his leg on the table, be like, "You see these bruises? This is $5 million right here."
Nick Seeler has been a very important part of this team, and one of the things that makes him so valuable is you're not paying him anything.
Exactly.
And so you're getting above value production. The minute you start paying him that, this is an inefficiency. Yeah. Like now, everything you get out of him, it's like, well, we better. Like, it's why aren't you doing more for that money? Like, everything then is just more. Our perception of value is going to change over the next couple of years because we've been living in this flat cap world since like 2018. Mm-hmm. Cap going up, that means what $3 million was worth a couple of years ago, like when Scott Lawton signed his contract, is not what $3 million continues to be worth. Fully understand. Still, that seems like an overpay for a guy who ultimately should be a third-pair defenseman.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're talking about a 30-year-old defenseman here who is perfect for what we're doing right now. But if you're talking about building a contender for the future, I'm not giving Nick Seeler the money that he's asking for. And I guess my question is if this report is true, how does that affect if we're trying to trade him in any type of rumors? Because if you're a team, you're like, well, I do like Nick Seeler, but also, too, I might lose him because I'm not going to pay him that money either. I feel like most teams would feel that way. Yeah, maybe like your Arizona Coyotes would be like, oh, yeah, we could do that. We'll do $5 million for Nick Seeler for sure. Like, but
gotta pay someone. Gotta hit that cap floor. No, I think maybe this increases the chance of Seeler and Walker being traded together because the acquiring team is going to try to keep one.
Okay. And
you would assume that team's going to try to keep Sean Walker just because teams want puck movers more than they want shot blockers. But you never know. But like I can see potentially teams looking at like, man, do we really want to part with a first rounder for a rental? No. Will we part with a first rounder for 2 rentals, one of whom we are almost certainly going to keep? Yeah, I think they would. So that's honestly, I think, an upgrade. That's increasing the potential return for the Flyers if they're not married to Nick Seeler. And it's like, no, we need a first for Nick Seeler because we love him. It's like, well, we loved him at $775. We don't at 3.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
So all of a sudden you're like, yeah, when we thought we were going to pay him 2.5, we were looking to keep him. Now we're not because he wants $2 million more than that. He wants to almost double what we're offering him. Like, I can see this increasing the likelihood he's traded and increasing the return if he and Walker are traded together.
Yeah, no, and staying on the defense, because I didn't get a chance to talk about it because with the Jamie Drysdale situation on Sunday here and Risto's injury news as well. But come trade deadline time, I don't expect the Flyers to make some type of rash decision trading for a defenseman because of the injuries that are going on right now. Charlie did mention as well, and I kind of forgot because I haven't seen him this year, but Ronnie Attard, I did like what I saw, and a little bit I saw him last year. And he's looked solid down in Lehigh Valley as well. So for right now, I don't see the Flyers hitting the panic button on the defensive position there with some of the injuries that happened, but we'll see what happens with Sean Walker and Nick Seeler. I'm with you. I think that if you can find that partner for Nick Seeler, I definitely do that. It's going to be interesting to see if that does happen, but it's the package. I like that.
Yeah,
Walker
I'm
and
very
Seeler.
interested to see how it goes. Like you see, Tampa tonight, like they're without Sergachev. Maybe
Right.
they're in the market for a defenseman. There's teams out there. I don't think it's just Toronto and Edmonton now. I think the field has kind of expanded as we get closer, and so many teams are like in the playoffs or right on the door, especially in the East, that are like, well, shit, we can make it. Like the Flyers are in a playoff spot and they're selling. So maybe we can catch them with their own guys. Like
Literally.
I think it's a definite possibility. I'm looking forward to seeing what goes down at the deadline. What do we have
Eric
here?
Mazusi says it perfectly. You can always find a Sealer.
That's the thing, is as much as I really, really like Nick Seeler, there is zero reason like you can't figure out a way to turn Igor Zamula into Nick Seeler.
Let's go.
This Hunter McDonald kid that they keep going on and on about. He was like a 6th round pick. He's gigantic. There is no reason you can't turn him into Nick Seeler for what they have done with defensemen on this team. You
That's
look at
true.
Sanheim. You look at what they've done with Seeler. Risto is no longer just bad. He's actually kind of good. Like all the defensemen on this team. Sean Walker.
Cam York.
Who knew what this guy was? Cam York. Every defenseman on this team under this coaching staff has improved.
Yeah.
They seem to know what they're doing. You have to be able to create a Nick Seeler. I'm not talking about creating fucking Cale McCarr here. Like, I'm not looking for an all-star. I'm looking for a dude who can eat 4th or 5th defenseman minutes, block some shots, get in a fight now and then. Like, this is what Nick Seeler does. He does it extremely well, but I'm not paying someone $4 million to do it. That's insane.
And that's a key point too, and that's why we're so easy to part ways with guys like Sean Walker and Nick Seeler, because the culture that is being built with those defensemen there, and that should be able to develop further defensemen too, whatever young pieces do come in here. And so you feel comfortable going forward when you do part ways with Seeler and Walker.
We all silly like the mayor.